So my name is Peter Thomas. I'm Director of Strategy and Growth at the Conversational Design Institute, CDI, here in Amsterdam. And I'm here with Hans van Dam, who's CEO of CDI. And we're going to talk a bit more about conversational capital, which is something you're going to hear a lot more from us about this year. Today, we're going to talk about what separates the AI that customers tolerate from the AI that they actually recommend, something we call moments worth screenshotting. Hans, what do we mean by that?
Yeah, it's nice, right? If somebody would actually take a screenshot of the interaction and share it online or just text it to people on WhatsApp. It's like, I had a great experience there. This was fun. And I think the idea is that just solving the problem in and of itself is not a moment worth screenshotting. Right, and NPS is one of those things where it's like, oh, maybe one day at a party when we've run out of conversations and topics to talk about, maybe I'll say, talk to this AI of this bank. Like it's somewhere in the middle. It's those little moments where it's delight. You solve the problem, you do a good job, and you really recognize that moment, that you take it as an opportunity to do something special. And that special doesn't mean, give them a free coupon or just give them things. It's like really showing that you understand the context, that you respect them, and turning it into a little delightful moment. And that can happen through language or through an image. And those are the moments where a customer, they went through a journey and, they sort of come to the release of that journey and then they're pleasantly surprised. And, if the journey is designed well, the surprise and the delight is actually not that hard to create if you're looking for it. And that becomes a moment worth screenshotting that, adds a lot of capital.
Yeah, I guess most CX runs deep in CX is the idea that you're making everything excellent.
Oh.
Parts of it. And what you're describing sounds a bit different. So it's kind of specific, memorable moments. So if you're a leader, product owner, how do you decide which moments are worth that investment?
You look for like those key journeys and little moments in there where the psychological journey is at a point where there is a moment of delight. And that's how you look for it. You don't want to do it everywhere because then it's a lot of work and you don't get the effect. Actually, it reminds me of a story a consultant once told me about a hotel on an island that he was consulting with, and they had a little mini bar in the hotel room. And as you open it, it just said, it had a little note that said, "It's on us." And it was like this beautiful, delightful moment. And bookings went up and everybody loved that. And then he started advertising free minibar. And, everybody showed up expecting that they could drink and eat as much as they could. And it became a buffet. So that's like where you want to do it a little bit. You want to be subtle in the moments where you're there. You arrive, you open the mini fridge, and here's a moment of delight. Once it becomes standard, you don't get the impact anymore, right? It just becomes a new baseline. So you want to look for those very specific, rare moments where you can actually make a difference.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is, you're right. I mean, too much delight can be a problem. And I guess one of the other ways it can backfire is when there's no solid trust that you've built with the customers. So most leaders would assume that delight is always better, but maybe not, right?
Yeah, if you have delight without a baseline of trust, if you don't have permission to even interact with people and you've not established that, you're just going to look silly. Right? That's what we call is like you're over designing for empathy and you don't have the agency to back it up. You just go off in fairy tale land and you kind of look like a clown. That's, you have confetti, but you don't really have everything that, should lead up to that confetti point. So yeah, you need to earn trust. First, create solid journeys, and once you have all that, you put in these little delighters where you can.
All right, great. Hans, thank you. So designing for those moments that matter is, I guess, where ordinary CX becomes extraordinary. And if any of this resonates for you, keep an eye out for more on Conversational Capital. You can read Hans's Power to the Poet Substack, or you can look out for an invite to the waiting list for the Conversational Capital Summit in Barcelona in April 2027. But for the moment, Hans, thank you.